Hello, today I'm also going to continue on my USA Christian heritage, and I'm going to start now in some quotes done. Listen to some of these quotes that are done. It cannot be emphasized too strongly or too often that this great nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians. Not on religions, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. For this very reason, people of other faiths have afforded asylum, prosperity, and freedom of worship here. That was quoted, that was said by Patrick Henry. I bet, man, this will shock a lot of people. For my own part, I sincerely esteem it a system which, without the finger of God, neither could have been suggested and agreed upon by such a diversity of interests. That was Alexander Hamilton. That was a quote he gave after the Constitution was written, which was sometimes called the Miracle of Philadelphia at the Constitutional Convention. He said that. He said he believed the finger of God was involved in the Constitution being written. Next one. God, who gave us life, gave us liberty, and can the liberties of a nation be thought secure when we have removed their only firm basis, a conviction in the minds of the people that these liberties are of the gift of God, that they are not to be violated, but with His wrath. Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, and that His justice cannot steep forever. That's Thomas Jefferson. He believed that the liberties that we enjoy are gifts of God, and if we violate them and violate His word, basically, that His wrath will come on us. And by the way, we got it happening right now. There's wrath all over this nation. Natural disasters. We got a terrible economy, wars everywhere. People are turning against us. This country, man, socialism is moving all over this nation. It's just messed up. By the way, you see any separation of church and state after everything I've read? Again, here's the mention of the Articles of Federation. There's a mention of God there. And whereas it has pleased the great governor of the world to incline the hearts of the legislatures we respectively represent in Congress to approve of and to authorize us to ratify the said Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. Great governor of the world, who's that? That's not Allah, and that's not Buddha, and that's not some deity somewhere. That's God, again, Jesus Christ. And there are many Christian principles in the Constitution, but I'm going to give you a few here. Property rights are confirmed in the Constitution and the Bible. They're confirmed in the Constitution, and the Bible has something to say about it, and it's Exodus 20, verses 15 and 17. And the prosecution of treason is also based off the Bible, Deuteronomy 17 and 6, and Numbers 35:30. Using Bible principles, and using Bible principles and precepts to base off rights and prosecutions and other principles in the Constitution, using Christian principles and Bible principles in the Constitution. Where's the separation of church and state, everybody? I don't see it. Just full of separation of church and state. You can just see where they're trying to keep the Bible out of everything. Founders must have really hated God. Here's some preambles of the state constitution. We, the people of the state of Illinois, is grateful to Almighty God for the civil, political, and religious liberty which He, God, hath so long permitted us to enjoy, and looking to Him, God, for a blessing upon our endeavors to secure and transmit the same unimpaired to succeeding generation. The state of Illinois, they acknowledged God and said He was the reason for their blessings and liberty. We, the people of Pennsylvania, grateful to Almighty God for the blessings of civil and religious liberty, and humbly invoking His guidance, do ordain and establish this Constitution. Pennsylvania acknowledged it. By the way, I believe all the constitutions are like that. We, the people of the state of New Jersey, grateful to Almighty God for the civil and religious liberty which He hath so long permitted us to enjoy, and looking for Him for a blessing upon our endeavors to secure and transmit the same unimpaired and to succeeding generations, do ordain and establish this Constitution. Now, all of them acknowledge God and say they're grateful to Him for their liberty and their prosperity. Natural rights. We declare that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that all power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are and of right ought to be founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and well-being. For the advancement of these ends, the people have at all times and indefeasible right to alter and reform their government. How about that? Every state constitution is like that. And if people want to sit there and talk about a separation of state and the government and the government wants to, and the founding fathers wanted God kept out of their government so much. People that say that are just people that hate God. That's all it is to it. They hate God and they just want to look for some reason to say we don't need to base all the arguments based off the Bible because there's no reason. Because we even have the precept that says the separation of church and state, which is a lie. And I'm going to get to that too. I'm in that. That's in here too. I'm going to explain that too. American monuments. The Ten Commandments are hanging on the wall of the Supreme Court above the Chief Justice's chair. Why? The phrase "In God We Trust" is inscribed on the wall of the Senate chambers. Our currency and a raised platform on the House. Why? Answer me that. If we believe in separation of church and state so much, how come all that's on our monuments? The figure of Christ crucified is on the Senate rotunda. Christ crucified? And you tell me that separation of church and state is right and is what they wanted? That doesn't make sense. Micah 6:8, these are my Bible verses. Micah 6:8 and Psalm 9:1 are quoted on the walls of the Library of Congress. There's the Bible right there, and it's quoted on the Library of Congress walls. But separation of church and state. On the cap of the Washington Monument, the phrase "Praise be to God" is found on the walls of the stairwell. On the cap of the Washington Monument, the phrase "Praise be to God" is found, and on the walls of the stairwell of the Washington Monument are numerous Bible verses. Engraved on the front of the original Supreme Court building of the United States in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the original one, is this saying, Blackstone: "This law of nature dictated by God Himself is superior to any other." He said God's law is superior to any other law. It is binding over all the globe, in all countries, and at all times. No human law are of any validity if contrary to this, and such are of them as are valid derive all their force and all their authority immediately from this original. Upon these two foundations, the law of nature and the law of revelation, depend all human laws. Human laws are only declaratory of and act in subordination to divine law. He said basically the laws of nature and God are superior to any other, and that if there's any other laws, human laws, that are contrary to God's law, they're not even valid laws. He says all the laws all the laws that are founded are dependent and are subordinate to God's law, divine law. And by the way, somebody said, well, that means every time we pass a law, then it's ordained of God. No, it's not. If it violates God's law, then it's not a law. I don't see any separation of church and state anywhere. I'm seeing church and state mixed a lot, because that's how the country survives. You take God out. That's why some of these other countries are in such a mess, and that's why we're in a mess, because we're throwing God out of everything.